What's up, everybody? It is Chris Grant, and we are here for another week of Tactical Tuesday. This week, we are going to be doing some live sourcing, and then, of course, we are also going to be doing some Q&A. So let's get rolling here. Let me get everything set up for everybody. Welcome to everybody on YouTube. Welcome to everybody in the Zoom room. I appreciate you guys coming out for these. Do me a big solid and hit the like button and the subscribe button if you're over on YouTube. We do have some giveaways this week, like we do every week. We're going to be giving away some Tactical Arbitrage shirts. We've got 2 of those. And then we also have some leads from OACheddar.com to give away to 5 people. My buddy over at iLoveSupplies.com has also agreed to give away 3 100 packs of poly bags. Those come in different sizes. And then, of course, I'm going to give away a couple of copies of IP Alert as well. And then, of course, answer everybody's questions, talk a little bit about Q4 and everything in between. So let's dive in, have a little bit of fun. I will get the things rolling with the giveaway. I'm going to go ahead and knock the link where you put in your first name and your first initial of your last name, so you guys can sign up for that. There's no email needed or anything. Let me knock that out here. Oops, wrong link here. There we go there. And hey, Eric, what's going on? Deep Fried Deals, what's going on, sir? There we go. Knock this over to you guys on YouTube as well. Perfect. All right, so if you want to sign up to win, we're going to be pulling names from there here in just a little bit on our prize wheel. Kareen, drop that in the Google form that I just linked to. Everybody over on YouTube, you can do the same, and I'll grab those in a little bit. I'll share that about halfway through again, just for anybody who happened to forget. Let's get rolling. So one of the things I want to chat about is there have been a lot of questions lately about looking at seasonal finds, things like that. And we're going to chat about that a bit, and we're going to chat about some things that you're going to want to look out for in Q4. One of the things, Target actually had a pretty cool little sale not too long ago where you bought $10 worth of school supplies and you got a 15% off coupon. It is for in-store only, but you can still use Tactical Arbitrage to make yourself a shopping list. Sorry, let me turn off my watch here. You can make yourself a shopping list with Tactical Arbitrage, and you can go to the store and grab these things. And you're also going to see a lot of times on Black Friday, they have these kind of coupons. They'll have different promotions and things, and it's not just Target, it's other places as well. So you're going to want to keep an eye out for those kind of coupon deals that are coming around this time of year. I just have a suspicion that they might be running a little bit earlier this year, and there might be a couple more of them just because the holiday shopping season is so short. So I would imagine they're going to want to get people in the stores as often as possible. So let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Then, of course, don't ever feel afraid to stop me, and we'll answer some questions here. All right. Share my dashboard. And let me get the chat over here. All right. All right, we've got some questions right off the bat. So TA shows sales for all variations sometimes. So is the kippah graph on average for all the variations or just the item you are looking at? Well, kippah does not show number of sales, okay, necessarily. Let's go take a look here at a Nike men's shoe, and I will answer this question. When we are looking at a Nike men's shoe, let's take a look at this one, for example. This one has 1,603 reviews, and the rank on it, sorry, a little slow when I've got so many things running here. The rank on it is 101. Now, if you come down here and take a look at the sales rank, you can see that was up and down, and then we've got a really flat sales rank chart here. The sales rank history is of the parent ASIN. Typically, it's always going to be this way when it comes to shoes and clothing and some other categories as well. Now, I would imagine when you're asking about the kippah graph, is it an average for all variations or just the item you're looking at? If you mean the sales rank, it's for the parent ASIN. So it incorporates all of the child listings or the variations. If you mean the statistics, like the number of drops per month, that is also for the parent ASIN, okay? And if we go in a little bit closer here, we can see all of these, what kippah calls drops, but it doesn't, unfortunately, record every single sale, doesn't record these, all the time. This one, because it moves so fast, kippah snapshots it quite a bit, as you can see, multiple times a day, but it's not getting it every single hour. So we can't say for sure exactly how many it's selling. We just know it's selling a heck of a lot at rank 101. Now, this is not always the case. If you are looking at a product in, say, health and beauty will oftentimes have a different sales rank for different variations. So if you have a single plus a 2-pack in health and beauty, they'll often have two different sales ranks, and you can look at the kippah charts for those, and they'll be different. So hopefully that helps. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about what I did to set up scans this week. I didn't do any reverse search. I just did some product search, but I did see a question on doing some sourcing for topicals. So if you guys have any specific questions about sourcing for a particular kind of product, I'll do some examples live. We won't be able to go through any results, but I'll do some live examples so we can actually show reverse search a little bit as well. And then once we get to the Q&A time, someone kind of wanted me to go into kind of a kippah graph deep dive, and so we're going to do that as well. And then Will asked a question, and I built you guys something, so I'm going to share that with you as well. So let's dive in here. I did a couple of searches, and something I want to kind of get everybody to start thinking about is, number one, of course, you want to use coupons and sales, etc., as much as you can. And this target scan that I'm doing is I've got a 15% off coupon. It is a one-time use. So I'll have to go through all of these results and find the best ones, and then I'll only be able to use it one time, okay? Now, the other thing I did is I found some 7.5% off gift cards. So I included that in here, and you can actually add e-gift cards to your Target app, okay? E-gift cards are not really usable in store unless you add them to your Target app, which you can do. So you'll be able to get those 7.5% off. And then, of course, they're not really reseller friendly. Yeah, they're not really reseller friendly. So I'm gonna have to pay the tax. So I put my 7% tax in here. And then the other things I did is I did a Walmart scan. And the reason I did a Walmart scan is I tried to think outside the box a little bit. Because a lot of people are like, well, I scanned Walmart and it's not profitable. I can't find anything. So what I did is I did automotive. And I know that there are some nooks and crannies at even places like Walmart, which is probably the most searched store with Tactical Arbitrage. There are some nooks and cranny where there are some things that are profitable. And so far, we've got 49 results after TA has checked almost 5,700. So I know that some of those are probably going to be good, something that we could buy. And I didn't give this enough time. I only started this a couple hours ago, and it's only on bulk row number 7 of 383. And then to think even a little bit further outside the box, I went to Home Depot, which is a pretty common store. But what I included in here is holiday decorations. Holidays are coming up. Halloween stuff is already selling. Right after that, there's going to be Thanksgiving and Christmas really quick, all back to back. And it's time to really start thinking about getting products in for those particular holidays. There's actually, in this Home Depot scan, there is a profitable Christmas item that sells on a regular basis, even right now. Now, what I will mention about it, and we'll go look at it here, is it's a product that I have gotten away with selling in the past, but it is a brand that is known to file IP complaints. So if you all go out and buy it and get an IP complaint, I warned you, okay? So let's talk about how I set these up. With this particular target scan, let's go into the product search. Sorry, guys, I'm a bit parched this evening. So what I did first here is I went in and I want to set up a target scan. I'm going to type in target here. Oops. And I'm just using easy bulk. Okay, I'm not going out and building my own bulk list or anything. So what I wanted to do is, rather than scan the entire place, I wanted to just scan a few places. I did health, I did beauty, I also did toys and electronics. Those are the places that I wanted to hit with this particular scan. So let me do beauty and health. Oh, I did personal care as well. And then I did toys, and I think I threw video games in there. Now, and I added that to the bulk list, okay? Now, when you do this and you're using something like one of these coupons, you're going to need to make sure to look at the fine print. So the first thing I did down here is I set my store discount to 15%. And then I didn't worry about cash back because I'm going to be doing this in store. And my gift card, you could set this up to auto if you want. Card cash looks like they've got 10. I use 7.5 from Card Source right now because I could get like $1,000 gift card for 7.5% off. Okay, so I'm gonna do 7.5% for my gift card. I've got 7% taxes here, and then when I go to my remove, I actually did a few things a little bit different that I don't normally do with these kind of coupons, and they're going to be coming out more frequently, especially Black Friday. There are going to be things that are excluded. So you're going to want to go through and look at the brands. For example, LG and what other brands were on here? Owlet, Sonos, and there were a bunch of others. So I added all the brands in there from the fine print down here at the bottom of this coupon. Okay. I leave my filters nice and open. All right. I go to my costs and my fees, of course. I've got 75 cents per pound to ship. If it's a bundle, I have 50 cents in there. In my profit and ROI, I also left it nice, wide and open, and we can use our on-page filters to go in and sort through things. Okay. In the other filters, the only thing I have turned on is also show Amazon out of stock results. You'll remember, because I'm doing one site with discounts, I'm not going to have this go looking through a bunch of other sites. I also wanted to kind of speed this up as much as I could. And that's how I set this up. Now with my Home Depot, let me refresh this page here. Hey Grant, what's going on, man? Easy Beasy, does Easy Bulk come with the OA package of TA, or do you have to purchase Tactical Bucket? No, Easy Bulks are provided by Tactical Bucket inside of Tactical Arbitrage for all the sites sorry, for 99% of the sites that are supported by TA for absolutely free. And it's something that Javier keeps up with and fixes when they break and all kinds of things because he's my hero. Lately, I've seen duplicate product searches. For example, I see my Walmart search twice on my list of completed searches. Also, I've noticed within my search, I'll see a product listed a couple times as well. The duplicate product searches, sometimes that just happens. It is typically not actually doing 2 product searches, but you should send that in to support so we can have the dev team look at it. As for seeing products in your view data a couple of times, you're going to want to pay close attention and see if the ASINs are all actually the same, because Tactical Arbitrage is built to find all the matches on Amazon for a particular product. So if you have a Hot Wheels car, a blue Hot Wheels car, and on Amazon there are 3 listings for the same blue Hot Wheels car, Tactical Arbitrage is built to actually go find all of those listings so that you can choose the best one. If they are exactly duplicates, there's probably a reason, and that's something we'd have to look a little bit closer at. All right, now when we talk about, I want to talk about the Home Depot scan that I did next. With the Home Depot scan, I pulled up Home Depot here, and I wanted to try and think of some things at Home Depot that not everyone is looking at. When I think Home Depot, I'm thinking power tools and things like that. So what I did at Home Depot is I wanted to look for places where I thought maybe people wouldn't be looking. So one place you could actually look is health and wellness. Who the heck knew that health and wellness was a category at Home Depot? I didn't use that one, but I did use holiday decorations. And then the other thing that I did is I actually did building materials. And the reason I did building materials is I was trying to think to myself, what from Home Depot is something that I might be able to replenish? And then I got to thinking about the things around my house that I fix or replace seemingly often or more often, or if we decide to refresh a room or throw up some new paint, I'm typically changing out things like sockets and light switch covers and all those kind of things. So I thought, why not look at building materials? And I also figured, I know that contractors buy from Amazon. I've seen it happen. So maybe things like nails and screws and all the other things that maybe they just buy from Amazon rather than actually going to Home Depot. It sounds crazy, but if it's on Amazon, it's probably selling. Okay, that or someone is doing some home projects themselves and they decide to buy on Amazon rather than go to the store because they just can't get there after work. So I decided to check out building materials and holiday decorations. Now I'm going to add those to my bulk list. With Home Depot, there really wasn't anything to speak of when it came to store discounts. I'm not going to put in my cash back. There really wasn't much when it came to gift cards. But with Home Depot, I know it's pretty easy to not have to pay state sales tax. So I left all this blank. And then, of course, as usual, I left my estimated sales wide open, and my costs and fees are in there. I leave my profit and ROI wide open. And then in my other filters, I would also turn on this show more UPC sites and also show title image sites, okay? Because I'm not looking for anything with discounts. Oh, Ken, that's a great point. Those duplicate results that you might see could be from multiple vendor sites. Okay, so from multiple sources. So you want to make sure what sometimes looks like a duplicate isn't necessarily an actual duplicate, because a duplicate would mean the exact same source site and the exact same ASIN. So thanks for that reminder, Ken. Oh, and Michelle says that Home Depot offers 10% military discount. So if you can take advantage of that, that's great. So once I had this going, I got this scan running as well. And then the other scan that I did was, oh yeah, it was Walmart. Walmart, I did the same thing. I just went into the automotive and I didn't have any discounts or anything like that. Made it really, really simple scan. Okay. And that's, I mean, that really is as hard as it is. So one of the things that I have seen a lot of recently, I've been answering a lot of questions in private messenger, as well as, sorry, Roy, let me send that to you here, right there. One of the questions I've seen a lot in messenger and in the support chat, and also via email, is I'm not finding these things, or how much money can I make in 2 hours a day? And we've got to remember that this isn't just a push button solution. Tactical Arbitrage is excellent. It is the most powerful sourcing software on the planet, but it does require work. We've got a changing landscape on Amazon. There are more sellers coming in all the time. And we've got to do a little bit more than what the other people will do to make sure that we have a competitive advantage. So I just want to make sure that everyone knows that it still requires work. And if all you can give it is 2 hours a day, that's fine. But if it's a full-time job, then you should treat it like a full-time job, and so on. So, all right. Any questions or anything about anything about this before we go look at some results? Hey, Tiffany's here from Eat Sleep Amazon. If you guys want to go check out her channel, you can drop a link if you want, Tiffany. She's got a great YouTube channel, running a good group. All right, let's go take a look at some results, and then I'll show you guys what I built for you guys here. Is there a way to watch? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Julie says, is there a way to watch what the scan is finding during a live scan? Say I'm running a scan for a one-day sale type of thing. Yeah, absolutely. If you start a scan and go to your view data, so I'm going to go to this target thing here, and we go, now you'll see I have mine set to 10 per page. I apologize, it's usually much faster, but when you're recording video, it just sucks up resources. But what we can do here is if we actually go to the very last page, we're going to see things that get added to the end, okay? And you'd be able to see these get added on in real time. This is actually still running, so when it has a new result, it'll pop. Well, that's actually, for this one, it's not true. I actually have the gross ROI sorted by highest or by lowest to highest, I think. So it actually won't happen here, but we can see that there are a couple of more results here. Okay, so yes, you can actually see them live if you want to watch them. Now, I will warn you that watching the results come in is like watching paint dry. So I don't suggest it, but it's possible. Okay. All right, let me go back to page 1 here. So this target scan has 726 items for me so far. Now, one of the things is, and a lot of people are like, well, that's too many. I'm never going to be able to. Hey, Raymond, thank you, sir. I'm never going to be able to get through all of those. And I 100% completely understand. It's a lot to go through. So you can do a couple of things. You can use the on-page filters. So what I did here is I went over to the gross ROI, and I decided to go from 10% all the way to infinity. So I only want to see items that have a 10% ROI or more. And then I also sorted them. So I sorted lowest to highest. okay? And then what I'm going to do to make this a little bit faster is I'm going to look at the kippah graph before I look at anything else, before I look over here or anything like that. Excuse me. I just scroll through, and if a kippah graph catches my eye, for example, this is not too bad. Amazon's been out of stock for a while. It still does sell. It's not something that I would want to buy 50 or 60 of, but again, I do prefer going wide rather than deep. But this kippah graph looks all right. Looks like it may have a suppressed buy box. I can see it had a buy box here at 1819. And it's a 4D Master 4D Vision Dolphin Anatomy. Looks like they match. Okay. If we scroll over here, we can see it's in Toys and Games. It's got a UPC match. It says it has an FBA buy box. I have a feeling that it's suppressed. And 2935. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now, typically, if you remember last week, what I'll do is I'll actually take these items that might interest me, and I will go, oh, look at that, suppressed buy box, called it. I will put these into a folder for me to come and look at deeper later on, because I want to go through things quickly, okay? But this particular item, 1819, looks like it should make a few bucks. Okay, and that 1819, I've got a 15% discount. I've got 7.5 off. So it would not be that actual 1819. It would be more like 1737. So there's a few bucks there. Probably not something I'm actually going to buy. Suppressed buy box. That's a great question. A suppressed buy box is when there is not a buy it now button over here. So what you'll see is I actually have a product pulled up for us to look at later. You'll see that this has a $27 buy box. There it says 27 here. I can hit add to cart. I can hit buy now. And over here on this particular product, I actually have to hit see all buying options, and I have to go in and actually choose from one of these sellers. Okay, that's a suppressed buy box. A suppressed buy box it does not keep the item from selling, but it does typically slow the velocity of the product selling down. Okay, and if you ever are on a listing which has a buy box and then gets suppressed, you'll actually find that these sales do slow down. However, I would suggest that having a suppressed buy box should not scare you away from selling the item, as long as it's profitable and you can get somewhere in the cheapest price. I typically try to be right around here or in the $31.95 range. Now, Will has a good question as well. Why would a buy box be suppressed? It is typically, from my understanding, an Amazon algorithm issue. It can happen for no reason at all. But it can also happen because Amazon is out there scraping prices from other sites. And if the price on Amazon is much higher than what's on Amazon, then a lot of times they will suppress the buy box, I guess, because it could lead to a negative customer interaction without that suppressed buy box. Now, again, does not keep a product from selling, but it will slow the velocity down because people don't necessarily, I don't know, maybe they bounce away because they hit see all buying options instead of actually seeing the buy it now button. Rookie question. Assume you buy from Target new. Do you sell it as new? In 99% of the cases, yes, you will buy from Target new and sell as new. As long as you are not buying a product where you are breaking the warranty terms from the seller. For example, this is one of the ways that Linksys or some of those other router places will get you, is they'll say if the consumer buys it from a third party, the warranty is no longer valid. Okay. And that's kind of how they get people for products being sold as new. But yeah, in 99.9% of the time, when you buy it retail, as long as it's in new condition and it fits the description of new, which is under the Amazon terms of service, you can sell it as new. How important are customer reviews to you as a seller? I mean, I don't want negative customer reviews, but I'm also not out there begging for them either. You know, I want to have a positive feedback ratio, but other than that, I'm not really interested in it. Let's talk about, or let's find or get a question from YouTube here. Part of the problem I find with viewing data before the search is finished is the inefficiency. Tricky to tell what you've already viewed unless there's another way. What I would suggest is, if you want to view data before a scan is finished, is take all of the data from the view data. Okay, so we can take all of this target data, and I'm going to move all of it. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a target folder. Okay, I'm going to move all of this. And now what this does is it moves my items from the view data over into my saved list. It allows that scan to keep running and doing its thing. And then I can come over here to my target folder in my saved list, and I'm not having items added to, let me find the target folder here. I'm not having items added to my scan, which kind of keeps things a little bit more organized. That would be your best bet. All right. All right. We kind of hit all of this stuff last week. So there's probably not a ton to go over here with this. I will show you guys what I made for you. One of the questions that I got, would you say Storefront Stalker is needed to get the best out of T8? So, Randy, I get that question a lot. Here is my honest answer. If you have the money to invest in tools, then yes, buy the tools that will make things better, easier, faster for you. Storefront Stalker is one of the best tools to add to Tactical Arbitrage in your sourcing arsenal, because, and I'll show you how to use it here in just a moment, because it makes things easier, faster, a little bit better. However, if you do not have the money for the tools, then do not invest in the tools. You can use Tactical Arbitrage out of the box. It's still a Swiss Army knife. You don't have to go and buy another tool to add to the Swiss Army knife. But if you're flush with cash, then yes, I would get it. Yeah, sorry. I typically don't pitch Tactical Academy here, but yes, I do. We do go in depth in all of these tools in Tactical Academy. It's funny. I had someone tell me, hey, you kind of teach everything in Tactical Tuesday that you teach in Tactical Academy, and then they went just a little bit further, and they're like, never mind, you went way deeper, and they wanted a refund, and then they said, never mind, I don't want a refund anymore. Anyway, all right. Oh, where was I? Okay, so I made you guys a little tool, and one of the questions that got asked is, what do I need to do to get to $20,000 a month? And honestly, the best answer is you need to spend more on inventory. So what I did is, that's the wrong one. I made a little calculator, okay? This calculator will allow you to figure out roughly, okay? It's not perfect. These are all estimates. kind of based on the estimates of the fees and things like that. So if you know what your average ROI is, so for example, in this particular case, I put 252% as my average ROI, and I wanted my estimated profit to be $86,753.09. Based on 252% average ROI, I would need an estimated gross sales of, oh, that's not right. There must be something wrong in here. I'll figure it out. Let's go in and do this a little bit live here. Do 20%, and we're going to say $5,000 here. There we go. Now it's right. So if we have a 20% ROI and we want to make an estimated profit, or our goal is $5,000 in profit, we're going to need an estimated sales of $45,000. Our estimated fees on those sales are going to be $15,000, and our estimated cost of goods, or what we're actually going to need to buy, is $25,000. Okay, this is what we're going to need to do. Okay, so yes, I did make this for you guys so you could have it. Now because this took me like 2 or 3 hours, I am going to require an email, but it is easy to get. I'm going to share it with you guys over on the YouTubes, share it with you guys here in Zoom. There we go. You guys can go to that link and grab the profit calculator. You will want to save a copy. You can save it as an Excel sheet. You can save a copy to your own Google Drive, and then mess with it as you like. But it gives you a very rough estimate, but at least gives you a goal to hit. Kind of gives you a large bullseye that you can use. Okay. Now, what do you need to do to get here? Basically, you need to source as much as you can. So if I want to make $5,000 in profit every single month, and I know that I can hit an average ROI of 20%, then I'm going to need to go out and spend 25 grand. Okay. Now, if I can increase my ROI to 50%, then it's going to significantly decrease how much I'm going to need to spend on what I sell. Okay. I'd be able to spend $10,000 and make $5,000 profit. So you're going to want to use some of your own historical data as to what kind of ROI you can get. If you're doing RA and you're doing clearance hunting and things like that, your ROI may be a lot better. If you're doing all OA and you're not using things like sales, you're not using discount gift cards, you're not using promo codes, then your ROI may be a little bit worse. So make sure you fill those 2 green boxes in as to what's right for you. Okay. All right. Now, the other question that I had was, oh, we got one here. Great tool. It's great. Thank you. Thank you, Sally. The other question I had came from Facebook this week, and it was, how can I go after a very particular niche? All right. So this person, for example, wanted to go after topicals. So I've got a couple of ways that you can do that. Okay. The first thing that you can do is you can go right into Amazon, and always start with Amazon. And inside of Amazon, excuse me, we can go and actually search for a product that would be a topical. Okay, so we're going to look at suntan lotion. Now, if we go to suntan lotion, let's actually look at, it's an Amazon brand. Let's look at this copper tone here. And this may or may not work. So hopefully it works on the first shot here. Sorry, guys, this is running really slow. I really sorry here. Okay, here we go. If we scroll down here, what we're going to find is this is an 1084 in beauty and personal care. It's number 11 in sunscreens, and it's number 176 in facial skincare products. So what we can do is, because we don't just want beauty and personal care, we actually want products that are topical. So I'm actually going to right click on these categories, and then I'm going to open the links in new tabs. Okay. Now there are going to be other topical categories as well. So you're going to need to think outside the box a little bit and maybe look at some things like skin cream. Look at other things that you might maybe look at lotions, and you're going to come up with all these little subcategories. Okay. Now what you can do is on Amazon, once this loads, or maybe it's not going to load. Well, what you can do here is it's actually going to give you these best sellers from this particular subcategory. Okay. You can grab them. I'm going to go ahead and close this down because it's not loading for us. You can grab them and take them into Tactical Arbitrage and do a reverse search. Now, the other thing you can do is if you go over to kippah.com, you can go to the data screen and you can look at the category tree. The category tree is going to allow you to look at all of these subcategories. We're going to look at featured categories. And in here, I'm going to start looking at things that, and actually it may not be in health and household, probably going to be in beauty and personal care. Go to these featured categories. Now here, I'm going to start looking at skincare. Okay. Skincare is probably mostly going to be topicals. So I'm actually going to open this up, and I can see from kippah, there's about 671,000 items here. You could actually go into each of these smaller subcategories, and you could start using Amazon is running slow. You can start using Storefront Stalker Pro to grab all the products from these particular subcategories. Okay. Now, the other way that you can do it is you can go right into the reverse search on Tactical Arbitrage, and you can scan these categories as well. So if you go over to beauty and personal care, you can actually dive down into the featured categories. You can dive down again into things like skincare. Okay. And then you could go even a little bit further. All right. So there's all kinds of ways to be able to get through it. It's Pat the reseller. What's going on, man? And you can do that for just about any category, any subcategory, anything that you are, anything you're interested in. Okay. So that is really all I had planned for tonight. Oh, sorry. One person wanted me to go over kippah in depth. So let's talk about reading a kippah chart. I pulled up this particular product because I saw it today, and it's interesting for a couple of reasons. One is this product was selling pretty well. Okay, looks like it was all sub 100K, had pretty good movement on the kippah graph, had better movement, I would say, here at 1883 than it actually did here at 1696. Sales rank was up and down a lot, but this stayed, the average sales rank here was a little bit better. Okay. And then we see the price starts going up. So we got 23 here, we got 27 here, and we can see that the velocity slowed down quite a bit. Okay. So there are a couple of things on a kippah graph when you're on a Amazon product detail page that you want to look at. One of the things I'm not usually too interested in seeing is this new third-party FBM. I do keep it up on my kippah graph just because it's one of the data points that's there. But one of the things you do want to see is you want to see this buy box. These buy box are these little pink triangles, or sorry, diamonds. And those are each going to be a buy box point, all right? You can also have the new third-party FBA, and new third-party FBA is a triangle. A lot of times, if Amazon's not on here, you'll see the new third-party FBA and the buy box overlap each other, okay? And you'll see right now, there are no FBA offers, so that triangle and the diamond are not intersecting each other, okay? The green line, this here, is going to be your sales rank. It moves up and down, kind of like a stock chart, and it tells you, kind of gives you an idea of the velocity. Now, there is no way to tell from kippah how many items are selling on Amazon, okay? All you can do is, well, the only way to tell exactly how many items is that you send some items in, okay? But what we can do with the sales rank is we can actually see how quickly it's moving up and down, or if it's got one of those flat lines and it's, you know, ranked 1,000 all the time, we know it's moving really fast, okay? But this product is moving, all right? Right now, I would imagine at this particular rank, it's ranked 158 right now. I would say it's probably selling 1 to 3 units a day, okay, based on where it's at right this second. Now, this could probably be fixed by actually adding an FBA offer. If someone actually came in on this FBA, it's very possible that it would sell faster. And the reason for that is when people search on Amazon, I believe it's estimated that 70% or more of people who do a search on Amazon use the Prime filter. And I'll have to go and find that statistic again, but I was absolutely floored by the number. I know for sure that it is the number one used. It is the number one used filter on Amazon is Prime. Okay, so if we could find this profitably, if we brought it back FBA, I guarantee that this would sell faster, even at the same price, or even a higher price. Okay. Do you only buy products with the heart attack line? I'm not. I never read an EKG, so I'm not sure what a heart attack line is. But I will buy products with all kinds of graphs. I'll even buy products where the sales rank is non-existent. It just depends on a lot of different things. Gene says 80%, I think. Let's see here. Now, the other thing is that's on here is you'll see this new price line. This new price line is really not that important. It typically is the new price without any shipping or anything like that, okay? So I leave it on there, but it's really not one of the important metrics in my opinion. The important thing for me is the buy box price, okay? I also like to open up now, if you look at this here, you can see you can actually turn off less historical data. I always keep that historical data on. I actually want to see the number of sellers. I do like to look at how many reviews it has, because reviews and if number of sellers is going down, as long as it's not necessarily precipitously, it's selling. Okay, and if the reviews continue to go up at an all right pace, then it's probably selling. I'm not sure why that's not showing up any longer. Now, what questions do you guys have about kippah? Because I wasn't sure what needed to be gone in depth on kippah. There's not a ton to know, in my opinion, about kippah. You want to know these prices. You want to know the buy box prices. You want to be able to read the sales rank. Hopefully you guys have your sales rank set properly. It's down for a sale and up for no sale. Okay, good question. So every time the graph goes down, is that a sale? The answer to that is yes and no. Whenever this graph goes down, so let's take a look right here, okay? The rank here was 132 at on July 28th at 12 o'clock. And then on July 29th, around midnight, the rank went down to 46,000. Chances are, okay, that was multiple sales that day. And the reason I say that is that's a pretty good rank drop in a category that moves things fairly well. Okay. So I'm guessing that was like 3, 4, maybe 5 sales. Now, the thing about kippah, or the thing about sales rank is a measurement of how well something is moving in comparison with all of the other items in that particular category. So let's say, for example, that we have 2 products side by side, and over the last 90 days, product A has sold 10 units and product B has sold 12 units. Well, even if they go on to sell 0 units on day number 91, product B, which sold 12 units, may actually keep a better sales rank than product A. But then if product A comes in on day 91 and sells 2, then it's going to overtake the sales rank on product B. Okay. So sales rank is a difficult beast, because it's not just, hey, this product is ranked 500 because it's the 500 best selling at this particular moment on Amazon. And that's not always the case. Okay. Let me refresh this page. Do I focus on 3 month or do I go further than that? Typically, I'm focusing on 3 months on the kippah graph. I think that gives me enough data usually. Every now and again, I will come out and take a look at the year. But 3 months is where I usually started at. Okay. In Q4, I start looking at this year graph a lot more, because I want to be able to see what it did last Q4. So, for example, if we're looking at a toy, and let's say I'm going to source a toy right now, then I might go and take a look and see what it did last November, October time, because if for some reason if the price spikes in October of last year, then I may price it higher and hold out for it. Excuse me, guys. But typically, because I'm more interested in churning and burning my inventory, I want to know what the last 3 months was, make sure that the price wasn't tanking, and then I'm going to be able to get in and get a profit. Oh, you had another chart below the main chart showing review count and new. Please, what does that mean? So this review count means the number of reviews on this particular product. We can see right now it has 12, but back in May it only had 9, and then it went to 11 in July and 12 in August. I also had the new offer count. So the new offer count here, let's go back to the 3-month view. This is how many new offers there were. So for example, on June 29th, there were 4 sellers selling this as new, and right now there are 2 people selling it as new. Scott, yeah, I can go over Storefront Stalker. Sorry, Amazon was not loading for me. It was being a pain. Yes, Marshawn, that's right. I talked about kippah going to the category tree, opening that up in Amazon, and then using Storefront Stalker Pro to grab the ASINs and save them, and then open them up in reverse search. That's pretty much a simplified overview. Yeah, number of reviews are right down here on the kippah graph. So we can see the number of reviews are here. And every now and again, you'll actually see those go down if one of them gets removed or things like that. What's my opinion on the sold by Amazon new program? It's probably not going to affect us as arbitrageurs because you actually have to be the brand owner to participate from the way that I read it. And so it's just going to be Amazon taking over the prices for private label products. Yeah, a drop on the sales rank, it can mean one sale. It can actually mean zero sales in some instances. Okay. And it can mean multiple sales. Okay. So rather than focus on these drops, I like to focus on the frequency of drops. Okay. The reason being is, so let's talk about let's look at this little area right here. Okay, it went from 92,000 here on August 15th to 70,000. Okay, so 92 to 70,000. Now, most likely that was a sale, but let's say that something really weird happened, and let's say that this product sold on August 15th, and everything else stopped selling for a day. Well, if that was the case, then the sales rank for this particular product could actually go down because its sales recency was more frequent than all the other products in this particular category. Okay, so it gets really confusing, but basically you're looking for nice movement in a kippah chart. Okay, you don't necessarily want it trending up because that can mean that sales are slowing down. If it's trending down, sales are typically picking up. But this particular product, it's moving. I can see the sales or the BSR is moving up and down, so I know that this product is moving through. Okay, it has some velocity. It's not the best, but I'll bet you this sells 1 to 3 units a day, in my opinion. Okay, and you're going to get different numbers from all kinds of sales estimators. Those are just estimations. Okay. Can you hover over statistic and explain how to utilize this feature in your buying decisions? So statistic is another tool inside of kippah. It gives you the lowest new price. It gives you the current price. Okay. Gives you the highest price, the average price over the last 90 and 180 days. It gives you the drops per month in price. And then in the sales rank, it gives you the lowest current, gives you the highest, the average over the last 90 and 180 days. And then it tells you how many drops per month. I typically do not pay attention to the drops per month in either the sales rank or the price. What I do like to see here is I do like to see the average sales rank because I can see that over the last 90 and 180 days, this is averaged in the 70,000 range. So even though right now it's a little bit higher, I can know that over the long term, it's actually kept a pretty nice little sales rank there. Okay, it's not the best selling item, but if you could find this product at a good price, and we can see now sometimes the price comes down. Okay, the average price over the last 90 days shows 1906. And that's the new price. That's not necessarily the FBA price. So that takes into account FBM or fulfilled by merchant. And if those are much lower than FBA prices, you got to kind of take that average price with a grain of salt. But what we can see by the kippah graph here, if I move my mouse, it'll go back up to the graph. But what we can look for is we can see that back in June and July, this product was around like $16 and then $18. Okay, so that $19 average price is probably not so wrong. So let's say I could source this for something like, let's say $7. So I could source this for $7. I know that if I have to bring the price down to that $19 or $18 average, that I'm still going to be profitable on the profitable side. Okay, and I know that the sales velocity is going to pick up. and I'm probably going to sell a little bit more, maybe 3 to 5 units a day, depending on how much competition there is. But you kind of want to take everything with a grain of salt, okay? Just because those average prices also include FBM now, but I do like to look at those average sales ranks. Okay. What's a better way to keep track of expenses versus sales? There's a couple of programs. I use QuickBooks. QuickBooks takes care of my accounting, lets me do my taxes, also has a mileage tracker built into it if you pay the $18 a month or whatever. So if I go out and do some RA, I can take all those miles off. And I pull all of my information over from Inventory Lab. In the Inventory Lab, I just let it pull in all the data from Amazon. There's also Seller Board. There's a bunch of tools out there. If you had to choose just one and you want to be as inexpensive as possible, it would be QuickBooks for me. You can pull all the data from Amazon and put it in yourself, and you just do something called a split transaction, and it keeps track of all your other expenses, gives you a profit and loss sheet, all of those things, so that you're actually running a real business. Yeah, but also Inventory Lab is also another tool that's popular. It's not my favorite, but I do use it. You import your inventory from in QuickBooks. You don't import your inventory. You can actually import your information from your sales. So like every time you get paid, you can import all of that information and put it into your QuickBooks. Biggest challenge or confusion trying to determine sales velocity. Do you know what a sales cycle is? Or do you know what's a sales cycle? Sales velocity, you kind of need to get some gut instinct going. Okay, we can see, so like this right here, back here was ranked around the 50,000 range. It's up and down a little bit, but we can see that it's moving. Okay, it's up and down, but it's moving along this particular horizontal axis, which is 50,000. Okay, so this has velocity. I don't think that trying to figure out how many it sells per month down to a T is the most important. Okay, you can go in and you can be like, you know what? I can see that this is moving along that 50,000 line. Why don't I buy 10, or why don't I spend 1 or 2% of my capital, depending on how much capital you have, and I'm going to test this product. And if if I sell through my product in 5 days, I'm like, okay, well, I want to replenish this product for the next 30 days. So if I sold 10 in 5 days, well, now I need to extrapolate that out and figure out what I need to buy for 30 days. And then you can start using Amazon's replenish tool, and they'll give you some ideas too. Okay. So trying to figure out, overthinking the sales velocity is going to keep you from actually buying and then selling product. So be on the cautious side, be conservative with it, and just buy some stuff and send it in. SK Pax has a question from YouTube. I've heard chatter about it, but having trouble finding solid information on it and whether or not it is worth the extra cost for premium placement. In my opinion, no. I'm fairly lucky. We do shipments of typically between 300 and 500 units, anywhere from 30 to 60 to 100 SKUs at a time, just depending on how wide we went. And 70% of our stuff goes to Charleston, South Carolina, and then the rest of it gets split up into different places. If we did hazmat, then typically goes to like Phoenix, or I think Indiana has a hazmat location. Sometimes we'll turn on premium placement in Q4, but what we find then is things are getting switched around, and so we're probably not going to do it this Q4. You got to remember, it is an extra 30 cents. I believe it's 30 cents per unit to use premium placement, and I just wouldn't suggest it. Marianne asked, what does a drop mean? A drop, it means a couple of things in this statistic bar here. The drops in the sales rank means that's how many times over the past 30 days the sales rank has dropped. Okay, so it's gone from up here to down here, or it's gone from here down to here. In the price, that means how many times the price has dropped. And they try to grab that information as well as they can and share it with you. Ryan says, I use A2X with QuickBooks. Could you do a separate video on a later date how you import IL into QuickBooks? Possibly, yeah. I'll have to figure out how to do that without, showing all my sensitive information. Let's see. Marshawn says, we do premium placements, has been a lifesaver for us. We've seen a dramatic difference in turnaround and sales, et cetera, with it. We were sending to warehouses on the opposite side of the nation, and now it's just a few hours away and sold within the next day. Interesting. Maybe I'll have to give it a shot, see what it does for me. When you get ungated in a category, does it mean you can sell anything that is not IP conflicted within that category, or do you need to get approval to sell within some subcategories? The right answer is it depends. When you get approval in a category, it's typically for that category. So if it's topicals, it'll be all topicals. What you may see more frequently than a subcategory is you're going to see something like brand gating. So in topicals, for example, something that I'm not able to sell and cannot get ungated in is Kiehl's, which is a higher end brand, but is not in the luxury beauty category, which I also can't seem to get ungated in. Not sure if this is up your alley, but when considering setting up an LLC, not sure where's a good state to consider. You should talk to a CPA or an attorney about that. Yeah, prep centers in tax-free states are probably going to be your go-to. And that's, there's some on the West Coast, there's some on the East Coast. Just depends on who you'd like to do business with. Okay, when you buy a product online, where do you send the product? Well, that depends. In my particular case, it comes to our home, and we prep and pack and ship it. My wife is the CSO of our business. She's the chief shipping officer. She handles that. She enjoys the adult Tetris aspect, and she's a lot better at it than me. For some people, they're going to send it to a prep center. Please do not order something from Walmart or Target or Kohl's or Home Depot and send it directly to Amazon. And Will, you're right. I should not say we. She does do the heavy lifting and is most of the brains of the operation, and I am just the pretty face. Does the quantity of stock you send in affect how often you win the buy box? Yes and no. I've noticed that sometimes when my stock dwindles, someone with more inventory may get the buy box a little bit more, but the buy box algorithm is a big hairy beast. Okay, it has to do with price, and it doesn't mean you always have to be the lowest. Okay, you can be within a kind of a margin of error of the buy box. You can be like within 2 or 3 or 4%. If you're going up against a merchant fulfilled seller, I've been as high as 20% more than the merchant fulfilled seller and gotten the buy box. It has to do with level of stock, has to do with where your item is compared to where the buyer is. So if my item is in South Carolina and someone is in California and looking to buy a product that I'm selling, I may be winning the buy box in South Carolina and Florida and the rest of the East Coast, but seller X may be winning the buy box over in California and Nevada and the rest of the left coast because they have inventory over there. Interesting. We got another premium placement user on Rhonda. Rhonda, I may have to do a little test, guys, with premium placement and see what it does. Let's see here. A bit off topic. Tactical Bucket has a list of 100,000 top ASINs in categories. You can actually go higher than that. You can go the top 500,000 in Tactical Bucket, and I would suggest that you go higher than 100,000 top ASINs. It's important. Like this particular product, this one here, this resveratrol, if I could profitably source it, I would buy this. I'd probably buy 10 units and send them in, and I would sell through them. Okay, so go higher than 100,000. Do you download that? But in the top 100,000 ASIN list from Tactical Bucket, you can download that list and run it in reverse search, and it will search all of these sites in Tactical Arbitrage containing that item. Yes. Can we talk about VAs in a future series, how to source them and what criterias? Yeah, honestly, so I used to be like, let's get a VA as cheap as possible and things like that. But now I'm more of the mind of going to a marketplace like FreeUp, and using those guys. They do the hiring and the firing, and you can just say, hey, listen, this person isn't working out, and they kick them to the curb, and it costs a little bit more. But you're probably going to get a higher quality person who's been vetted, and then you can teach them some things. But there's all kinds of ways to do VAs, and we could talk about that sometime. Let's see. Brian says, bought something at Walmart which had Amazon on the listing, but profit was so good, thought I would try it and sold within a week. Absolutely. So that's the thing. I don't have an ASIN that comes to mind for me to be able to share with you guys, but Amazon will share the buy box. Okay. We don't always have to be afraid of Amazon or undercut Amazon or anything like that. This is like when you're doing Amazon flips, for example, a lot of times you can flip a product where Amazon's cut the price way down, and then Amazon comes back in stock at a higher price, and you could sell right along with them, and you'll end up selling the product. And the thing to look there is just start looking through the kippah graph. You'll see the buy box, is being held by an FBA seller or Amazon or anything like that. Let's see if we go out at all. If Amazon's ever, I don't see Amazon on this product ever. But you can look through the kippah graph and find out if Amazon has shared the buy box a little bit. I've noticed in a few situations that a merchant fulfilled seller has the buy box because they have a lower price, but they have unreal shipping costs. So it appears that they have the lowest price, but truly they're priced twice as high. Yeah, Wayne, that will happen. That seems to be like an algorithm, mistake. They will they'll price really low and they'll jack their shipping way up, and they'll get the buy box, and it's deceptive. I know that people have complained to Amazon about it, and I'm not sure whether they've tweaked it or anything like that. But yeah, it does happen. But you let them sell through, and they probably get a return anyway when the person figures out it's $120. I think what we're going to do, and actually, guys, before it gets too late here, I do want to share this again with you. We're going to do the drawing for everything here soon. We've got leads from OACheddar.com. We've got poly bags from iLoveSupplies.com. I'm going to give away a couple of copies of IP Alert and 2 Tactical Arbitrage shirts as well. And we're going to do that here in just a few minutes. I think what we'll do next week is we're just going to go over tools. So we're going to go over Rev ROI. We're going to go over Storefront Stalker Pro, We're going to go over Tactical Bucket, and we're going to dive deep into all of these. Make sure you know exactly how to use it. Can we do a future webinar about sorting, deciphering results on TA? We have done that once. If you want to shoot me an email at chris@cleartheshelf.com, like if you have like something more specific, like what problem you might be having, then I'll be happy to do a video or even a whole week on getting things figured out for you. What's the longest time you'd consider holding a product if it doesn't sell within your planned period? So I set my repricer, okay? I put a product in, I put my product cost and all of that, and then I set my repricer, and my repricer handles it. It goes up and down. I got a product right now. Sometimes it sells for, $32, and then the next day I'll see a sale come through for $36. So it handles the up and down on the pricing. Now, if I have a product that's been sitting for 90 days, then it's time for me to start liquidating it. And that's especially important right now because we're coming into Q4 and inventory storage costs are getting ready to skyrocket. So if you're not planning your inventory, you want it to be in there as short of a time as possible. So you're not getting that, it's like $2.40 per cubic foot or something for standard size is what it's going to. So storage costs are going to get a lot more expensive, and I don't want things sitting in there and collecting a bunch of fees. So 90 days, I typically start liquidating, try to get it down to buy cost, and then at 120 days, I'm even liquidating below buy cost to get anything I can. I don't typically have to do that though. I'm churning inventory much faster than that. My pricing strategy against Amazon when they are on the listing is matching them. I just match Amazon. All right, let me go grab these names here, guys. I got 76 people in here. That's great. 76. All right, let me grab all these names. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? If there's no sales when matching, then I would start lowering the price a bit. I don't do a ton of Amazon flips, and I typically don't sell against Amazon a lot. But if I'm matching their price and I'm getting those sales, I'm going to start having it come down in price until I start getting sales. All right, guys, I'm going to turn off the accepting responses, and if they follow you in price, that happens. AMZ flip, what do you do? It sounds like you do a lot of flips. So what is your what's your opinion if they follow you? Let me get this all set up so we can do some giveaways, everybody. All right. Is there a setting to auto update searches? Yes, there is a setting to auto update searches, but it is only going to auto update so many. Okay. You're only going to be able to auto update like 2,000, or 2,000 or 4,000. Just depends how many times you want it auto updated. If you want an entire search auto updated, then I would just suggest sticking in a folder and updating it whenever you go in there and want it updated. It's not so you're not going to be able to auto update like 5,000 or 10,000 results. All right, let's get this rolling here. Let me put 77 names in here. Okay, perfect. Sorry, that one doesn't count, guys, because I haven't even said what we're giving away here. So sorry if that's your name. So what we are doing is we are going to we are going to give away a OA Cheddar first. So OACheddar.com are the guys who put out several lead lists. Everybody enjoys them. I haven't had any complaints for people who actually use them, so that's great. So we're going to be giving away 5 OA Cheddar lists, and let's go ahead and give away one now. Kenneth L. Kenneth, shoot me an email at chris@cleartheshelf.com. I will get you over your copy of the OA Cheddar list for this week. And remove your name here. Shoot this again here. Looks like Otis H. You also win a copy of OA Cheddar leads this week. Shoot me an email over at chris@cleartheshelf.com. We're going to be on our 3rd OA Cheddar here. Simone D. Simone, if you can, I think, didn't you win OA Cheddar or something last week? But Simone D, if you can shoot me an email, I will get you a copy as well. And number 5 here is 2 weeks ago. Oh, very good, Simone. Simone is a 2-time winner. Michelle G. Michelle G, if you could shoot me an email, I will get you a copy as well. Now, my buddy Jonathan over at iLoveSupplies.com, he does have the best poly bags, in my opinion. They have the ships that are. Anyway, they're great poly bags. I'm sorry, I'm tired. They're great poly bags. We use them here, and he's going to give away 3 100 multi-packs. And the first winner of the I Love Supplies poly bags is Hal W. Hal, if you can shoot me an email, I do need to get your address and the best email for you, so I can shoot that over to Jonathan. He'll get those out to you. And winner number 2. Oh, so close, Will. Babajid. Babajid, if you want to shoot me an email at chris@cleartheshelf, I will get you some poly bags as well. And number 3 for the poly bags is Dianand. Dianand, if you shoot me an email as well, we'll get those poly bags over to you. Now, let's go ahead and give away 2 Tactical Arbitrage shirts. It is a handsome shirt. I'm not wearing it this evening like I usually do, but I am going to give away 2. I promise it's not rigged. 2 shirts. Looks like Dave S. Dave S., if you want to shoot me an email with your size, your address, and what color you would like, I will shoot them over to you. Oh yeah, Babaji, he's not going to send them to Dubai. Shoot me an email, and I'll take care of you another way. I'll give you something to make up for it. But Dave S., shoot me an email, and I will get you a T-shirt. And T-shirt number 2 is going to go out to Eli G. Eli G, shoot me an email with your size and your address, and I will get you a Tactical Arbitrage shirt as well. And then finally, I'm going to give away 2 copies of IP Alert. And let's see who these go to. Iknan, I'm going to give you a copy of IP Alert. Shoot me an email, chris@cleartheshelf.com. Thanks, Scott. I really appreciate it, man. And the final winner for tonight is Listra. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Listra B. Shoot me an email. I'll get you a copy of IP Alert as well. All right, guys. Next week we're going to go over all of the tools. So I got a couple questions here. We're going to go over all of the tools that make tactical arbitrage even better. I will end up shooting some affiliate links at you guys next week for the products that I suggest to use with tactical arbitrage. There are only a couple, but I think they're the best. And what we'll do is we'll deep dive into each one of them, and then of course we'll do a Q&A as well. And so that's it for tonight, guys. Make sure if you are on Facebook or on YouTube, sorry, if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. That really helps the algorithm and gets me a few more eyeballs on these videos. I'll see you same time next week, 8 o'clock Eastern. Talk to you guys.